Welcome to my new anime review series. This is Meow Time. Yeah, this is the English translation of for the title for Nyan Koi. Yeah, Meow Time is the official translation of this particular series. Now, this was an anime made by AIC. It's dubbed by Santa Filmworks. Yeah, I'm watching the dub. And this aired, believe it or not, you won't believe how far back this aired. This series aired 11 years ago. Yeah, 11-year-old series. From October to December of 2009. Made by a studio named AIC. Anime International Company. I'm not all that familiar with them. What's the motif of this series? Talking cats. No, the main character is Ned. Yeah, the premise of the series is quite bizarre to say the least. So I was like, okay, now, as for the studio made this series, aside from this one, the only other series I've watched, and at least probably done reviews for, aside from this one, let's see. No, not that one. Is My Bride is a Mermaid. Yep, I've done that one. Let's see. So I'd say this is the second one I've done. Yeah, second one. Yep, the second anime I've done from this company. Now, here's the thing manga this is adapts from. It started in 2007, and they've only officially released 34 chapters. You're probably thinking, why the heck would it only release 34 chapters? 13. There's a reason for that. The reason is the series is on hiatus. Why? Why? Now, I mean, in the first one, how long did they adapt in the first episodes? They had put the first 7 chapters in chapter 10. Basically, this is the order they adapted. 1 and 2, the first episodes. First 2 in the first episode, 3 and 4 in the second episode. 3 is quite strange. They apparently adapt. They put 10 before 5, which that was kind of weird. 4 Okay, now lucky enough that the anime pick starts exactly where the manga starts off, with the main character Junpei. That series. Oh, also to point out though, despite the fact this is an English dub, everybody refers to each other with honorifics in the English dub, which I found this quite strange because here's kind of the thing. Normally, English dub wouldn't bother with honorifics unless, of course, it was necessary. The only series I've seen where they occasionally use honorifics in the actual series, they've done this for One Piece with the character Kami, referred to everybody with the honorific Chun. Okay. And, of course, also, Deku going Bakudo, Kachun. Okay, perfectly fine. Yeah, but that's the English dub, that's kind of part of their character. This series, as far as I can tell, there's no reason for it at all. It's just, oh, because I saw the pronunciation in the dub, even I know the manga was fine. I'm sure the sub probably did the same thing too. Why the heck would Santa Filmworks even bother to include the honorifics in here? Yeah, this is something I think this probably due to the high school culture of the thing. It's possible that's the reason why. But I've never heard an explanation of exactly why. Now, here's the thing about the dub series. Now, I've come across, officially, all these episodes, only, maybe a couple, at least one voice actor I've actually heard before. And it's Monica Real. Yep, she appears in episode 1, she appears in episode 3. This is basically of the first 4 episodes. She briefly appears in episode 1, and then she returns to episode 3, where she's there for pretty much half the episode. And it's not for comedy. I love it. It's pure hilarious. Yep. The first episode is introduction to Junpei. That's the guy's name. Junpei. Yeah. He's also introduced to his love interest, Mizuku, she's actually addressed by her last name. Almost a lot of the characters are addressed by their last name, with the exception of Junpei for some reason. Like, really? Okay, now, I get the reason why he's addressed by his given name because it's English dub. A lot of the characters in English dub generally don't refer to each other by their last name, but then you have it where, like, everybody else, with the exception of the main character, is referred to by their first name. Well, by their family name. My guess, Sentai Filmworks must have thought as though that's the culture over there. They always address each other by their last name, really someone the first name, whatever. Yep, that's probably the reason why. Now, with the exception of one, with the exception of Monica, I'm not familiar with a lot of these other voice actors who appear in the series. Now, Genpai is voiced by Connor Leach. Okay? Kidai Mizuko is voiced by Lindsay Pearson. Kiniko, Summer C. Now, this woman, I thought by her voice, you can tell by her voice, this could be Jimmy Marceri. Nope, it's not her at all. It's a completely different voice actress. Her name is Monica Fellini. Yep. And her first appearance is in episode 2. Yep. You also have Nagi Insu. She's introduced at the end of episode 3, and then she's there for episode 4. She's voiced by Kara Greenberg. Now, there's also Chizuru Machuski. She's voiced by Monica Rio. Yep, Monica Rio. Yeah. Those are all the characters, well, all the regular characters appear in just these episodes. There's a few others. There's this owner of this, basically this priest of this particular shop. There's also cats who appear in this series. Yes, talking cats. Well, there's actually like 2 of them. Generally, a lot of them are like one-shot cats. Now, the premise, okay, here's the thing. Junpei gets out of bed. He sees his sister's cat. His name is Namasis. That's the cat's name. Who's voiced by a woman, despite the fact this cat is supposed to be a boy. Not the first time I'm saying this, where clearly a male cat is voiced by a woman. Sees all the blue extras as well. Excuse me. Oh yeah, and also, Genpai is allergic to cats. No, I'm not. I just basically got like a mild cold. It'll be fine. So, he basically has to spend like every morning when he gets up, he has to dust off his own comforter because it's full of cat hair. Yep, full of cat hair. So, yeah, he has to dust all that off. And he doesn't like the fact that he basically this cat got into his bed to make it why he's also fantasizing about his crush. Yep. Yeah. Fantasizing about his crush, of course, he wakes up because, well, he starts sneezing. So, oh yeah, apparently his mother and sister are cat lovers. Oh, and they mentioned that his father's away. Yeah, he's away on business, and he's pretty much an absentee father. That's pretty much what he is. So, on the way to school, he runs into his crush. He's a bit nervous around her, and of course, well, he also tries to kick a can while he's on the way back home from school, listening to music, which appears to be, believe it or not, it seems like he's listening to the opening theme song, which, yeah, that's quite strange. I thought that was kind of weird. Why the heck would the main character of an anime listen to his opening theme song? No idea why. And he's like, oh, there's a can. I'll just kick in that trash can. Kicks it and ends up in this little, cat house, looks like. But he ends up knocking off the statue. Well, he ends up breaking the head off the statue. And also, his family cat apparently start talking to him. Yeah, as for the reason why that he does, now, they explain, oh yeah, it's part of some curse that he's basically has on him. But no, the family cat was already talking to him prior to this happening. Yeah. No explanation why, just that is. So, he basically apologizes for breaking the cat statue, and he's told by the other cat, Tama, that's the name of the cat, that he has to basically grant 100. Of course, he does apologize for breaking the cat statue by offering it cat food that he just happened to have. So, the priest is like, oh, cool, you offered basically an offering. Cool. Explains about curses. Yeah, and it turns out, though, that he has to grant 100 wishes from 100 cats just to make sure if he doesn't, he turns into a cat. Even though he's allergic to cats. Okay? So, he gives his first wish to grant. Try to get this person to stop holding these two cats. Which turns out to be his child crush. Of course, he tries to play to please stop holding her. Like the cats no problem with her petting them, but as for holding the way she does, yeah, they don't like it. So it's like, I'll do it again. And of course, like the very next day, it's like she has no problem with it. She basically is like just a minor misunderstanding. And he ends up basically having to go groceries later. Also helps out another cat as well while he's at it. Yep. And then of course, well, that kind of leads into the whole cat thing with him going for groceries. Yep. Now, how he meets her is actually interesting. That's actually shown in episode 3, which I think from chapter 5 that happens after his encounter with the male woman. Yep. Our next episode is the cultural festival, which he runs into his childhood friend, who was not clearly voiced by anyone else, despite the fact this character clearly looks like her character from My First Girlfriend's a Gal. Even dressed as the same, too. Though she's got a Mumbai appearance. Why she's got this? She apparently... It was due to misunderstanding, and then, of course, during the course of this episode, she does lose the makeup due to having a bucket of water dumped on her head. And apparently, her removing the makeup, apparently, people have no problem with her without the makeup on. Also, his sister basically helps out covering for him when he's missing because his child friend decided to kidnap him because she apparently spotted him talking to cats. Despite the fact he's allergic to cats. And the thing is, one of the cats he was talking to gave him a request. Tell this particular person that to basically thank you for basically taking care of him all this time. And it turns out it's actually her. Yep. And he does reveal in the episode that he does tell her that I can understand cat feelings. Yeah, she pretty much basically makes him her manservant, which I thought that was so hilarious. And Mizuko thought that they were boyfriend and girlfriend. They really aren't. Yeah, and when she's up water in her face, the water in her head, she ends up chasing around the school. And then, of course, well, in order to like cover her up, just be polite, he puts her jacket on her head. And of course, Mizuko just happens to come by, fixes her up, puts her in a maid outfit, and everyone's like, wow, look at this cute girl. She's hot. Yep. And she thinks that the cats basically have like a 3-day memory. No, this cat doesn't at all. And he does kind of, like, when he tells her, it's kind of hinted that he does tell her that he can understand cat feelings. Maybe he can talk to cats. I don't know. Yeah. Episode 3 is quite hilarious. Yeah. Where he meets up with Chizuku, who apparently has got a poor sense of direction, despite the fact she's known for delivering mail. You are thinking, mail. Oh yeah, and by the way, she delivers mail via bicycle. Yep, via bicycle. Now, the thing is with this series, now I'm thinking, okay, set in the late 2000s. I'm like, where are these people's cell phones? Yeah, in the 4 episodes I've watched, there's clearly no cell phones here. Which I'm thinking, that's weird. Why wouldn't they have cell phones? I would think they would have maybe flip phones, but nobody's got a flip phone for some reason. Nobody needs an instant phone, which I thought that was kind of weird. So, and apparently Tama thought, ooh, this would be a good chance for you to get more wishes in. And he ends up granting wishes for at least about 4 cats. Yeah, overall in just 3 episodes, he's already granted wishes to about 6-7 cats so far. At the end of the first episode, he'll grant 1 wish, basically at 90 more to go. So they don't really say exactly how much more he has left. it's presumed basically over the course of these episodes that he's basically lowered down the amount. I would say by episode 4, because he gets a wish in that one too. Let's see, he gets 1 in the first episode. Yeah, well, he was like 1 in the first episode. The second one he gets 1. The third one he gets like, I think 5 or 6. So that brings it about, I'd say about 8 or 9 wishes done. So he's probably getting close to like 90 left. And also this thing where he basically is following her, following Jessica around while he's helping her basically deliver mail. And she basically is teasing him. Oh, and I love how the way Monica Rail basically voices her. Because I think she may have used the same style performance for Hannah in Asagi-chan Wants to Hang Out. Yeah, because she basically voices her the same way that she does the other character. Despite the fact that this character is roughly 3 years older than Hannah. But the thing is, it came out like 11 years prior to that. Asagi-chan Wants to Hang Out, that came out just recently, while this series came out 11 years ago. And of course, while hanging out with her basically creates sort of misunderstanding, where he runs into his childhood friend, he runs into his sister, and he runs into his crush. And apparently, Jessica Isa points out, though, you got a crush on it. Is she your girlfriend? It's like, yeah, you haven't kissed yet, have you? You haven't even confessed. Yeah, it's like, oh, I can help you with that. I'll deliver a mail for you. Yep, though it does hint basically her later return. So I appreciate she's actually come back. So she's now a one-shot character. And then, of course, they have the flashback of how he first met Mizuki. He met her on the first day of the school year, where he's trying to, like, sees her trying to help a cat, and she's falling out of a tree while saving the cat, and it lands right on his face by pure accident. Of course, she apologized for it, though she ends up helping. She gives the cat to the groundskeeper, and they make the entrance ceremony perfectly in time, though she doesn't get her name. Though he meets up with his old friends from elementary school, the same character we have in the pilot episode. I kind of think though maybe this episode, this sequence should have been the pilot episode, but nope, it isn't. It isn't. I thought it should be, but it isn't. And of course apparently she's been appointed the class representative, and she gives the fact, oh yeah, I'm happy to be here. I love to be at school, and of course that's when he finally figures it. And of course, like all the male students, like all instantly fall in love with her because of how cute she is. Yep. Of course, at the very end of the episode, we introduction to an OC. Yeah, she makes her debut at the end of the episode. Now, this takes up basically 2 chapters, where she basically challenges him. She gives him a challenge. Of course, she basically puts it in a cutesy letter. Of course, he mistakenly thinks it's a love letter because it gets following Mizuki around. I thought that was quite hilarious. So, also, Freddy's apparently Kaneko basically he's walk with her to school. Now that's basically their thing now, because well they are speaking to each other now. He's just not in the Mumbai appearance anymore, and she's wearing a red scarf. Though, in the case of this episode, they do change stuff in this episode. Oh, yes, they change stuff, alright. Like, okay. Now, right at the issue of the challenge, basically, she comes in, basically. Now, when she finds him, she's outside doing this. In the actual episode itself, she finds him in the classroom, talking to Kende, and she does end up also groping her, which, in the anime, she's actually wearing a school uniform. In the manga, she's wearing her red scarf. Of course, she ends up punching her. And, of course, Mizuku's also wearing a different outfit as well, because in the manga, she's wearing her track uniform, while in the anime, she's wearing her, like, basically her PE uniform. And, of course, take her home, and, of course, it starts raining. And when they take her to her home, they're like, oh, what's this big man? Turns out it's actually her place. They open the door up, and apparently, she's the daughter of a Yakuza boss. Wow, a Yakuza boss. Okay, and then here's another thing. They bring him all inside after basically the boss basically explains. They just basically brought her home. Though they keep referring to her as a boy instead of actually a girl. And they walk inside, and of course, I've taken the woman inside. It's like, okay, you two, you go off to the bath and get cooled off. You go to her room. This is actually changed the manga because in the manga, the bath scene where Mizo and Kei basically bathing, that's complete in the original. Of course, it's probably just good to show some fan service in. Why not? And when they show him entering the room, that's actually from the third page of chapter 7. And apparently, it's also she's afraid of lightning because of some childhood trauma. And apparently, put on some blinders. Apparently, she swings a wooden sword around. Then she ends up being trapped in a coffin in her room. They have to calm her down. And then, of course, well, before he gets to the room, he's basically requested to have her fall in love with somebody. It ends up being him. So, like at the end of basically the time of the house, they go home, and then the very next day, she's transferred to class despite being a year older than they are. Like, oh yeah, I've learned this already. Like, why are you here? Because I'll be close to you. Yep, and that's the end of the episode. I gotta say, pretty fun. This is a pretty fun series so far, and I can't wait to discuss the rest of the series because it's just so fun discussing this. Yeah, unlike the last series full of fan service, this one has got very little fan service. Yep. The thing is, the series is only 12 episodes, so won't take me too long to get through it. Yep, so that's a particular review. I have roughly 2 videos I'm doing today. Next will be, is it wrong to pick girls' dungeons? And it'll be case closed. And that'll be it for today. And tomorrow I'll probably do my reviews for this series, and then head back to Naruto Shippuden for a while. Okay? To the next video. Bye.